Hello and welcome to hobby vlog number 218. Now let's get straight into the Reaper challenge. Last week I painted up Jack the Ripper and he turned out really nice. That was a really fun miniature to paint, so thank you for voting for that. And the runaway winner in the vote this week was the Pirate King and Queen. So I'll be painting this up this week, and that's been really good. So if you want to get involved, then you can vote for any of the miniatures that are on screen now or in the description. Thank you to Ryan Dunphy from Canada for suggesting that I should put a link to each miniature on the Reaper website, which I've done so. So that is in the description now. So if you're not sure what they look like, you can go to the link next to each name and have a check it out before you vote. And all you need to do is put the name of the miniature that you want in the comment below, and that will enter you into a little challenge, and will also enter you into a draw. So at the end of every month and also at the end of the year, I'll be doing a draw. Last week it was Lekdog, that's it, Lekdog who won, sorry, it's very early in the morning and I'm tired, and the prize that he chose, he picked one of the miniatures that I painted up in January, and he chose the 3 dwarves, and he's already received them. So yeah, they arrived really quickly to where he is in Australia, so thank you very much for voting Lekdog, and congratulations again on winning. And if you want to be with a chance of winning one of the miniatures or one of the boxes that I will be painting this month, all you need to do is vote. Anyway, that's enough of that chatter. I really hope you enjoy the video. I've been quite busy this week. I've been doing other things as well on the model railway, but in terms of hobby, I've been busy, and hopefully you'll enjoy this video. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to vote for the Reaper miniature, and I'll see you again at the end. Right, then here we are again. Next instalment of Involuntary Postman. Rosie bit her finger and so hard she cut herself. So that's what she's waving at you right there. And she's not very tough, so she thinks it hurts all the time. Anyway, can you remember what happened last week?
Not very much, does it?
Can you remember what happened last week?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
We were locked in a cellar.
Oh,
and
yes,
we were having to clean it.
I remembered that.
Okay, and what else do you remember?
I remember we had to clean.
Yeah, that was our thing. We had to clean the cellar, didn't we?
I saw some bit of to eat, and we were taking her stuff away.
Yeah, so we found some stuff to eat. Well, remember, some bread and some cheese, and we wrapped that up, didn't we, to eat? And then there was a knock on the door, wasn't there? Do you remember who it was?
It was the poster.
Well done, the postman. Good girl. Otto Proudfoot it was, and it was also the mayor. And do you remember what they asked us to do?
Yeah, to send a letter.
Yeah. So the post. There's been a few people sick, and there's a lot of problems on the road. So the Shire is in a bit of an uproar, and he asked us to deliver a letter. Here we are. We're here, and we have to go all the way over to here, the Marish. The Marish. Okay. So he's asked us to deliver a letter. But do you remember the thing he said right at the end of the session? Do you remember? Well, Rosie's remembered lots. What about you?
Not to take the east road?
Yeah, so he's told us to go cross country, so to kind of cut along and do this. And that means going right the way through the middle of Woody End.
Yeah, and we can go on to that way.
Yeah, so later on we'll get there. But no, so right now, where we're at, we ended the session last week just having agreed to take the letter, didn't we? And we're about to set off. So it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a bit of an interesting one. Let's get stuck in, and we will report back at the end of the session as to how much fun we've had, won't we?
Yeah.
Excited?
Yes.
Excited?
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
That's enough. I'm excited too. Let's get to it.
Bye now.
Right then, so we've reached the end of our session, and that was a longer session than we've done recently, but it was going really well and we're having a lot of fun. Wait a second. Rosie knows what we did, so she'll tell you in a second. But yeah, it was good fun. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
So what did we do, Rosie? Can you remember the first thing that happened?
Yes, we got some bicycles.
We did. So you were looking around outside the Madam House while Lobelia was talking and attempting to find out the desired route, and we found some velocipedes that were being delivered to the Madam House. And what happened next?
And we nearly got caught by a policeman, and I see some.
Oh,
some
you
stuff.
skipped a fair bit, but let's go. You're absolutely right. That happens later. So the next thing was that Lobelia had a very smart idea and did something very out of character for Lobelia, and was actually diplomatic. And rather than trying to nick these velocipedes, you persuaded the mayor, with Odo's help, to let us borrow them, which is very cool. So who was the best at riding the bikes?
Me.
Yeah, and who fell off?
What happened, Ben?
You fell off in the bush and got your boot out.
Calm down. So first of all, we tried to ride these velocipedes, and me and Lobelia were struggling, but Lobelia was really struggling. She fell off straight away. I just rode into a wall. But eventually we managed to get going. Primula was like doing tricks and wheelies and stuff. We made our way to Waymeet. We had lunch at Waymeet, but we only had enough money with us to buy one lunch between the three of us and no beer. And then we headed our way down. We made our way around Whitwell through the fields and got stuck because they were muddy and long grass and rutted, weren't they? And again,
I fell into a stick and I couldn't get off, so I stayed very still.
very good. So that was the next thing. After we got around Whitwell, a bounder came up the road. We all tried to roll our stealth rolls, and only Primula nearly succeeded. She got her bag stuck on a stick and just managed to get out of sight in time. Lobelia lost her boot as she was diving into cover, and I stopped, picked the boot up, and was stood in the middle of the road like an idiot when the bounder came up the road, wasn't I? But fortunately, I was able to explain to him who I was. He recognised me, and he just warned us that there were lots of scary people on the road, lots of dodgy people on the road, and to just take a bit of care, and he went on his way. So the next thing was, we ended up at Took Bank, didn't we? And what did Lobelia suggest that we do for food?
We just, I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
I don't.
Oh, well, you did it. Okay, so what did we do? Do you remember?
We had a look around for any houses with chickens.
Yeah, so Lobelia was a bit larcenous and decided to nick stuff. But fortunately, Primula is very subtle, and you snuck in. And do you remember what all you bought back for us?
Yes, carrots, potatoes, and a bit of to let the wood and
Well done.
Flint.
So a flint and some kindling and some wood and some eggs and potatoes and carrots and stuff like that. So we had some food. Lobelia was then able to find us a cave in the hills north of Took Bank and eventually light us a fire, and we had fried eggs and raw potatoes and raw carrots, which is all right, but it's not great. So that's where we've ended up. We're in Took Bank.
I like raw carrots in real life. I like raw carrots.
I know. Raw carrots are all right in real life, but raw potatoes not quite so good. But yeah. Anyway, so that's it. So we will be back next week. We'll do another one. Next week is going to be the last week for a little bit, because then you two head off on a little break. So we'll be back next week and we'll see how far we can get. Did you enjoy the session, Rosie?
Yes.
Did you enjoy the session?
Yes.
I really enjoyed the session. Angela did some proper role play, really good. She interjected and changed how the story went, and that's really good, because it's not something you're comfortable with, is it really? So that was really, really cool. I'm sure you enjoyed that, and it made the story better, frankly. Made it funnier, I think, because we were able to fail our roles and laugh rather than getting in trouble. So that's us done. Oh, sorry. So that's us done. We'll see you again next week. What are you going to say, Rosie?
Bye.
Bye. So you wonderful people last week voted for me to paint up Jack the Ripper, which is one of the chronoscope miniatures from Reaper. So let's just get into this. Hopefully, yeah, managed to do it this time. A bit noisy, sorry. So this is a metal miniature, and wouldn't you know, looks like I've got 3 hands I can use. So I'm going to have a quick look at that, and I'll decide which one I'm going to use to assemble. But what I'm going to do first of all is clean the miniatures up. You can see there's flash on there. Then I'll put it into boiling hot water, boiling hot soapy water. Give a good scrub to get any release agent off, so that the paint will stick. I'll decide which of these I'm going to use, and then I'll stick them together, get it primed, and once that's done I'll show you what it looks like. So I'm just going to get those stages done. Wasn't the one I wanted to paint last week, but now I'm looking at it, I think it looks brilliant. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. You can think about like a dark grey black coat with lovely red on the inside. Yeah, I can see this being quite a lot of fun to paint. So yeah, I'll get that cleaned up and assembled and primed, and then we'll have a look and see what it looks like at that stage. Okay, so I've done all the measuring and marked up all of the tabs, and what I'm going to do now is the supremely, that was very boring, but now I'm going to do the next supremely boring task, and this is what is going to take so long in this project. I have to cut out each of these tabs very carefully, so I'm going to do it in an organised way. I'm going to cut all of this angle, and then all the other angle, and then all the tops, and I'll be left with just these tabs here. Now you can see the marks. This one's 60, 65, 75, 75, 80 and 80 mil. Obviously as you go up, everything gets a little bit wider. So yeah, and I've done that 4 times. So I've got all of these, what I'm calling the backbone. I've got all of these backbones now measured in the correct way for this task. And for these I've changed the prototype, which had it straight, and I've done it diagonal. It's just going to make it a little bit easier to fit things in. Got a bit cramped with the ribs and the spine joins, and I just think this might help a little bit to prevent any overlaps which cause some of it to be a little bit uneven. So yeah, I've got 10 minutes now or so, so I'm just going to get as far as I can in these 10 minutes before I have to go out, see how many of these tabs I can cut out, and then I'll bring you back and show you how I go about doing the gluing. But yeah, just going to be lots and lots of cutting. I am super stoked for this project though, so I don't mind these boring tasks. Well, there he is, assembled and primed, and I've also done a little bit of dusty gravel on the base. Now I did make a little mistake there. I realised that actually I wanted him to be on like a pavement base, but I'd already stuck him down to his base and wasn't able to take him out again, so I've just gone for a gravelly base instead. We're going to take that downstairs now, start to paint that up. Pretty awesome model. I'm really pleased that that's what was picked. Thank you to everyone that voted again. It wasn't the one that I wanted, but I'm really happy I'm doing it now. I've gone with the bag and the dagger. That's what's on the main artwork, and also I asked Quinn and he agreed. So yeah, going to go and get this painted now, and next time you see this, it'll be finished. This is going well. However, I have learned something, and I did make quite a mistake. These little stands, I did mention that I think in the new Sarissa one you'd have to do this. But if you are making the same style as me, then you want to watch how I've got this working, because I basically destroyed 2 of these completely, which was very silly, but I now know how to avoid doing that. So you pop those out nice and easily, and what you need to do, let me zoom right in on that, right in, there we are. What you need to do is take your sharp knife and shave off the bottom section entirely, like so, a couple of slices, and the top section. Now if you don't do this, you will not be able to get these inserted into the little gaps that they need to, or the little slots even that they need to fit into. So shave that off, and then take this one and shave this one off, and then you can put your glue, your PVA glue, to stick the 2 together because they go back to back, and then put a little bit of PVA glue on the bottom, and then it will slot in quite nicely. So I'll get a few of these prepared and then bring you back for the next step and show you how they actually slot into the deck. Right, so I've prepared a few, and I've got a little plate with some glue here. So what I'm going to do is just dip that in the glue, get way too much glue on, that's always the way. Then stick them or place them together like so, dip that in the glue, and then that will now, making sure I do it the right way around, that will now slot in really nice and easily. And believe me, if you don't do that shaving down, it does not slot in does not slot in really nicely and easily. Right, let's get a brush this time and make it a little bit less messy. So once again, a little bit of glue on the inside of it there. Get another one. Put it together. Oh, put it together right around. It's not very easy. Much easier doing this if you're not trying to film it, by the way. And then I'm dropping the larger section. The larger section. There's two. There's a large and a small section. I'm putting the larger section at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the final ones of these, and then you'll get the top bit, and that will then slot over very nicely as well if you've managed to trim them down nicely so they look like that. Anyway, there we are, so a little top tip. So I'll get that done, and as you can see, I've got to do all these and all these as well. It is a bit of a pain, in all honesty, but you're getting there, I think, and very soon I'll be looking to do the painting. You can see, just while I'm here actually, that I painted a load of stuff brown, and then there's a load of stuff that actually hasn't been painted, which should have been. So what I'll do is I will just do another coat of the same brown over the lot once this is finished, and then we'll do the nice colouring of it afterwards. And I'm going to make the second one as well, which I won't do on camera. I've not started it yet. I will make the second one, and I'll probably paint all together. So getting pretty close to just doing the paintings, and maybe the next time you see this, it will be when I am painting it. Alright, so after a little bit of a break again for no good reason other than just getting distracted doing other projects, I'm going to focus back on this. I really do want to get this done. I want Rosie to have it finished for they're going away in a couple of weeks, and it'll be nice for her birthday. And it'll be nice when she comes back to have that layout done, including with the backdrop. So there's even another project to do, and also a shelf on the bottom of it. So there's a third project to do. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with this and maybe make a start on the shelf. And I want to do a backdrop, I want to get the tracks cleaned, I want to get it running, I want to think about electrics on it. So there's lots of things I want to do before her birthday, because it's only 2 years after it was supposed to be finished. And then she can use it. So what I'm doing now is I've just got this bit that I've that is going to slot in nicely into the space with the building going here and what have you, and I'm just going to make it not flat, and I might need to mix up some more modelling compound. So I'm just going to make it not flat, so it can go into kind of like a rougher area here, and I'll probably model a little bit of a retaining wall along this side, I think, so it looks like it's a bit of a cut. Not that you'll really be able to see it, but you will kind of be able to see it from the other side of the layout. Whatever, still going to do it. See, I'm going to need to mix up a little bit more. So I'm not going to build it up very big. I've changed my mind on that. I'm not going to do it as a big kind of bulky area. But I just don't want it to be dead flat. So I don't think it looks very natural. And I can put some like scrub bushes and various other bits and pieces over here, which will work really nicely just to act as a little bit more of a transition into the scene block. Anyway, there we are. So I've run out of materials now, so I'm going to mix some more up. I need to go up on the ladder because I've run out of actual material in my pot. So I need to open another packet. So yeah, so I'll just keep doing this, and I'll bring it back, show what it looks like when it's dried. And then the next step that we're going to do actually is going to be, once I've got this working, is going to be sticking the building on, because what I'll then do is come along over the whole lot and put down my grout mix to blend in the base of the building with the rest of the stuff. So I want to just get this stuck in and put, or actually I tell a lie, I want to get this stuck down and then just put grout material against it, then stick this in place and then put the grout material over the rest of it. So that's my plan. So yeah, I'll finish this off and then bring you back when we're about to start to stick down the building and get that bedded in. Oh, I'd forgotten this was coming, as often is the case. But here we have the mat for Dune, and it's a very nice one as well. So yeah, pretty nice looking mat. Good colours, nice feel, thick enough, nicely sewn in edge. So yeah, that will be that will go into a bag with and wait for me to actually get around to playing this game. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see that arrive. I wasn't really expecting it. I'd forgotten that there was actually a mat, but now I remember reading the update saying that they were coming separately. So yeah, there we are. At the same time as that box from Simon, this arrived. Yay! I just went ooh. So this is the High Noon. Now I backed at the highest possible level, which means that he's sending every single expansion he develops to me just for free. So we have Monko and Macat. We have the Jenkins brothers. So I have painted up my other ones of these, so there's a chance that these might skip and jump and get painted much sooner than anything else. Nelson Abernathy. The Nelson Abernathy gang, I presume. Well, he's the one in the. He's the one that wears the armour. We then have Blood Creek Bushwhackers expansion. It's come out a little bit in the pack. That's a shame, but hopefully no damage. Goodness me, there's a lot in this box. We have High Noon Minis crate. I think that's a storage box only. I'm running out of space to put things. Starter set card boxes. That's cool, so I can tidy the cards. We have some more loot boxes and some poker cards. Cool. Ah, this is what I'm looking forward to. We have some more. So this is basically a replacement for the starter set tiles. It's an upgrade pack to make them match the artwork for the new tiles. Because obviously, when you're developing something of a new, you're a new creator, you get an artist and then you kind of develop your style. And what's happened is that style has changed, and so now the new ones don't match. The marketplace expansion set. So this is. Yeah, 2 new exciting ways to play High Noon. Bypass the luck of the loot by buying your own equipment. So that's pretty cool. So there's a new playing mechanic. Father Franklin, who is the one that has the gun inside a thing that he carries on his back. Grizzly Greenwood. Again, unfortunately things look like they're a bit loose in the pack. Grizzly Greenwood with his wolves. There's a lot here. Montana Azul's Los Hermanos. And last but not least, we have the Bandero Blondes, who are apparently really good fun to play. So they will probably come to the channel. There will probably be some games. This is a game I like. Angela's even played it and enjoyed it. So there is a chance that there might even be a game. But that is a big pile of goodness right there, isn't it? Let's just gather these up. A big pile of goodness. Keep stacking. Keep stacking. Yeah, the chips and gold upgrade pack. Can't remember if I showed that, but yeah. And there we are. So quite a lot of stuff. So yeah, brilliant. I will possibly do a proper unboxing as well. I'm a bit disappointed to see things flying around because they could actually damage the miniatures, so that's a bit of a shame. But other than that, pretty happy. Well, I've got my miniature painted. Here we are. There he is, Jack the Ripper, all done and dusted, with a little bit of blood stains from his red stained shoes. Really enjoyed painting this. It was a lot of fun, and thank you to everyone that voted for me to paint that one. So don't forget to go and get your votes in down below on the vlog for what I'm going to paint next week. It takes you 30 seconds and means that you'll be entered into a prize draw, and that prize draw is to pick one of the miniatures from the month that you win, and I'll send that to you for free. So there we are. So yeah, really good fun miniature that can go in the box now, and potentially will be used at some point, or it might just be a display model. Don't care. I'm happy to get these miniatures with some paint onto them. Alright, so after a little bit of a break again for no good reason other than just getting distracted doing other projects, I'm going to focus back on this. I really do want to get this done. I want Rosie to have it finished for their going away in a couple of weeks, and it'd be nice for her birthday. And it'd be nice when she comes back to have that layout done, including with a backdrop. So there's even another project to do and also a shelf on the bottom of it. So there's a third project to do. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with this and maybe make a start on the shelf. And I want to do a backdrop, I want to get the tracks cleaned, I want to get it running, I want to think about electrics on it. So there's lots of things I want to do before her birthday, because it's only 2 years after it was supposed to be finished. And then she can use it. So what I'm doing now is I've just got this bit that I've that is going to slot in nicely into the space with the building going here and what have you, and I'm just going to make it not flat, and I might need to mix up some more modelling compound. So I'm just going to make it not flat, so it can go into kind of like a rougher area here, and I'll probably model a little bit of a retaining wall along this side, I think, so it looks like it's a bit of a cut. Not that you'll really be able to see it, but you will kind of be able to see it from the other side of the layout. Whatever, still going to do it. So yeah, I'm going to need to mix up a little bit more. So I'm not going to build it up very big. I've changed my mind on that. I'm not going to do it as a big kind of bulky area. But I just don't want it to be dead flat, so I don't think it looks very natural. And I can put some like scrub bushes and various other bits and pieces over here, which will work really nicely just to act as a little bit more of a transition into the scene block. Anyway, there we are. So I've run out of materials now, so I'm going to mix some more up. I need to go up on the ladder because I've run out of actual material in my pot. So I need to open another packet. So yeah, so I'll just keep doing this and I'll bring it back, show what it looks like when it's dried. And then the next step that we're going to do actually is going to be, once I've got this working, is going to be sticking the building on, because what I'll then do is come along over the whole lot and put down my grout mix to blend in the base of the building with the rest of the stuff. So I want to just get this stuck in and put, or actually I tell a lie, I want to get this stuck down and then just put grout material against it, then stick this in place and then put the grout material over the rest of it. So that's my plan. So yeah, I'll finish this off and then bring you back when we're about to start to stick down the building and get that bedded in. As you can see, this is on there and it's still not quite dry because it's very cold here at the moment, but it's getting there, so I'll be able to do the texturing on that soon. But the first thing I want to do is get the building glued down. So I've got some copy decks here, which is pretty good for doing this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some copy decks. I've got the card bottom, so it's going to make it nice and easy to stick. So spread the copy decks over. It really is stinky glue, this. There we are. Nice smear of copy decks. And then line that up there. Done. Good. Won't need to weight that down. That will dry very quickly. Next thing I'll do, as I've said, is come in with some grout mixture. Just a very small amount of grout mixture and bed it in. You can see there's quite a gap under there, for example, so bed that in under there so it's so it looks smooth, and then what we can do is we can do the whole of the grout over all of it once I've bedded that in. I just don't want to be doing bulk grout application close to the building, so I don't want to put grout up the sides. Anyway, there we are, a little bit of step forward. I would glue down the actual platform, but I've realised that I want to lighten up the colour of the platform, the main platform. I think the colour I've got is right for the sides, but I do want to paint these a little bit lighter, so I'm going to go and get those painted. Once that's done, I will stick them down also with copy decks, and I'll bring you along to show you what that looks like when it's there. And just to confirm, my train runs past absolutely fine all the way around the corner. I was trying and failing for a little bit of an artistic shot there with my present from Rosie, but you can't really see the miniatures, so I'll turn that off. That's a shame. Right, so as you can see, here are the sea dogs finished and completed. Quite a lot of fun painting these. These, I say it all the time, but these Blood and Plunder miniatures are a lot of fun to paint. And I really like following the box art. It gives me, it means that I can really enjoy it. I don't have to like worry too much about what colours to use. I just go with the box art and they look great. So they are going to be put into the box that they're sitting on, which already has the English militia in, as you can see. So I will do the same job there with the label, and then we'll move on to the next one from the English nationality starter box set. Haven't decided what that is yet, but when I have, I'll get them painted up, and then I'll show you what they look like. Right, so that's stuck, and I've actually had a little change in plan, and as you can see I've mixed up a whole load of milliput because the gap at the bottom of this is just a little bigger than I'd like it to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make use of milliput just to build up a little bit of a slope like that all around the edge of the building. So yeah, this is just because that cardboard's on the bottom, and I very deliberately put the cardboard underneath the building, but that's obviously just put like a couple of millimetre gap that I had not considered I would have. So this will all be hidden by the when I put the texture on, and it's just going to be slightly easier for me to do it with this than with modelling compound. So yeah, get this done and then let that go off, and then I'll bring you back for the next step when I get to it. Right, my milliput is dried, which is good. So now I've got an old brush that's broken, actually I've just realised, but never mind. And I've mixed up some of my grout mix, and if you want to know how I do this, there is a video that's linked in the description of every single one of my videos that shows how I do it. And what I'm going to do is very carefully come along and push this up to the edge of the building just to finally fill any gaps and blend it in. So this will take a little bit of time, so I probably won't film it all, but that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll let that go off. The good thing with this grout mix is if it turns out that I mixed up too much, I can stick it in the fridge. And I'll be able to make use of it. I'll just use the end. I'll be able to make use of it when I come back to do my second coat, so it's not going to be waste. I did end up mixing up a little bit too much because I put just a tiny amount too much water in. It's quite a sensitive to quantity. But anyway, that's enough muttering. I'll get on with this, and I'll be back to show what it looks like when it's all dried. Determined to get this done. Absolutely determined. Onwards. Well, I changed my mind and I didn't save the bits. I've just decided to spread the remainder over the whole of the rest of it, so that's just the easiest thing to do. I also ended up using a toothpick. It was a little bit easier to use a toothpick to push in at the edges. So I'll let that go off now, see if I need to do any more touching up, and then once I'm happy with that, then I'm going to get this put into the actual part, actually onto the layout, stuck in place, and then we'll bed it in and do all the bits and pieces that we need to do to finish it off. But yeah, cracking on with this now, really pleased with how it's looking. I think Rosie's going to love it, and hopefully it'll be finished by the time she gets back from her trip. Well, I've managed to assemble all 4 of these, and yeah, they're looking good, pretty happy. Made a couple of mistakes on the way, but yeah, ultimately with the tabs on the sides, that's looking good. So the next thing I'm going to do is I've just found some old scrap XPS, and I'm going to slice that up, and I'm going to cut it and stick it along these ribs. So then what I'm working on down here, and I'm just working on the tabs for it, so then this can then be stuck over the top. It's got tabs here which we glued on down here and here, and then the extra surface area that these XPS will give will then mean I can glue it on the top, and then it will be really secure, and then I'll be doing the walls. But the first thing I need to do is this. So I'm going to go to the hot wire cutter, just cut this into strips. I don't know if this one scrap off cut will be enough, but I can always grab some more. I've got quite a lot. And then I'm actually just going to glue it in and clamp it in place. And I think I'm going to do it on every other one. I don't think I'm going to do it on all of them, so I don't think I need to. So I'm going to do one here and here. I'm going to do one here and here. I'm going to do one here and here, or something like that. So I might do 3 across the whole thing, because it is actually very solid, and all this is doing is tacking it down and making sure it doesn't move. So yeah, I'll get that done now. I've realised I'm in a little bit more of a rush on this than I thought I was, based on when the deadline is, but that's all good. If I don't get it done for entering into the competition, I don't care, because I want to do it anyway. It'd be nice to achieve it for the competition though, so I'm going to give it my best shot. I managed to get all of the little shelves put in, as you can see, and if anyone wonders why I own so many clamps, look at all those clamps. I've not run out quite. I do still have some left over, but not that many actually. So yeah, that's why I have so many of these clamps. They're so useful. So yeah, so the next thing is, oh yeah, because there's obviously like that's stacked up twice. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on putting the actual top on this. So I haven't quite finished the cardboard work, so I'm going to get that done now, and then I'll bring you along and show you how it's going to be attached. Basically what I've got is a tab which is going to glue on here, and then when that's done and it's folded over and it's glued on the top, the glue can go onto these shelves that I've put on, and that should then hold it nice and securely. So I'm going to finish doing, I've only got a couple more left to do. I've done 2 of them, I've got 2 more to do. So I get those cut and then get those glued on, and then we're going to start working on the sides, and the sides are going to be fun, and I'll come to those, we'll talk about those when we get to them. But yeah, I'm really cracking on with this. I'm really going to put a big push on to get this done as soon as possible, because I want to get it done for the contest, and as I said, it's a little bit sooner than I thought. By a little bit, several months sooner than I thought, so that's why I was kind of pottering on this. Now I need to really focus. Well, I've tried 2 different techniques. This one is being done using my copy decks, and I've had to weight it down, and then I thought, you know what, I've got hot glue, so I've done this one with hot glue, which has been much quicker, a bit messier, but much quicker, and you can see just how strong that is and how that back flap is going to fold down and glue in very nicely in there. So pretty pleased with that. So I'm actually going to, very soon I'm going to glue that back flap down, and then it'll be a case on these hot glue ones. I'm going to do the other ones on hot glue as well, the other 2 on hot glue. I will then start working on the side walls. So I'll come back when I've started on the side walls and talk through what we need to do. There's a tower on the front here, like a circular tower, and then the wall needs to extend up a bit and go in. So yeah, it's a bit of one of them. But I'm very pleased that I remembered about using hot glue, because I say it was a bit messier. There's glue strings everywhere, but much quicker, much more secure, and I don't have to sit and wait for ages for the glue to go off. I'll never let it be said that I hide my mistakes. I've just realised that I was meant to cut that diagonal before I glued it in place, and I didn't do it. So what I've got to do now is come along with my straight edge, make a line where it needs to be cut. Oh, hold it. It's not very easy. I could possibly get a lighter ruler. That might not be a bad idea. Did the other side fine. Now the camera's on. It's not working. That moved. There we are. You know what? Let's use this ruler. It's heavier, but it's actually more balanced. So once you've got it, there we are, see, better. Correct tools for the job. So we line that so that we know where we're going to cut, and then I'm actually having to use scissors, which is not ideal, but it is what it is, to cut that angle off. So there we are. Ha. Good. And that now is done. So I've got to do that for 2 more now. The one that I did with the copy decks, I haven't yet glued that tab back on, so that was really easy for me to do. I've done that very quickly with a knife, but these ones I'm having to do with scissors. Right, so I've got the first one enclosed, as you can see, and all enclosed, and pretty happy with that. I had to trim a little bit of the top off, but that's absolutely fine, and it will work very nicely once it's got the texture on it, I think, which I will do at some point in the future. I'll show you how I'm going to do that. So what I'm going to do now is start working on the battlements. I think this is going to be my exemplar. I'm just going to practice with this one and learn my mistakes, and then the other ones will hopefully be a little bit smoother. So at the end of these there is actually a little kind of like a little tower, a small tower, which probably had a cannon in it. So what will happen is I will need to trim that off so that people can have access to that. If I get one of these little short lumps of balsa, which is what I'll probably end up using, I'll cut them down nicely. It won't be that tall, it's going to be about that tall. That will stick there and overhang slightly, and then this will have to come in, butt up against it, but again I will be putting texture on it, so I won't have to worry too much about making this absolutely accurate. And then I will need to carve down the top so that it can have access to it. I'm not going to worry about making it hollow. I'm just going to have it so it's there, and potentially paint on the little slit that there is to shoot through. But but it is actually quite useful because it gives me roughly the height, because yeah, it's not, these walls are not that high actually. They're probably only kind of up to your chest height rather than being massive to hide behind. And they have little crenellations not very often because they're for cannon, they're not for archers. So they're different, because obviously with a cannon you're stood much further back, so you don't need to have such high battlements. Anyway, so that's going to stick there. Then these, they're cut to 2 centimeters, are going to be glued along each edge, just this edge and this edge. These 4 edges, not that one, because that's the access, and the main walls come here and here, which I'll be starting on very soon because I need to get it done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this cut to the right height, size, get that stuck in place. I'm using hot glue now because it's just working so much better, obviously. It's really working well for this, so I'll get that stuck in place at the right height, and then I'll put these on and then work out where I want the depressions. I'm going to have a quick look at the pictures and work that out. I'll cut them in before I glue it in, and I'll show you what it looks like when these are all on, because then it'll be a case of getting ready to probably paint it, I think, and then I'm going to apply, and I'll let you know now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try applying air dry clay, having used my roller to roller in texture of bricks, and I'll be putting air dry clay all over the outside of all of these, and also on the top, and that will really make it a bit heavy. But it won't be too heavy because I'll do it quite thin, but it'll make it really solid. But I mean, this is already absolutely rock solid. I mean, I'm not being weak with that, I'm not being soft with that, and it is just a very sturdy build how it's been constructed, so pretty happy. And in the background, while I'm doing that, I will continue putting the sides on the other 3, but this is just going to be my lead. I'm going to learn how this is while this is dry, and I can just keep cutting these out. It's a bit of a faff. It's not the simplest thing in the world, but it just takes a bit of time. So there you are. I'm a little bit more awake than I was when I recorded the intro. The sun is just starting to come up, so there's a quick picture I've just snapped just before I've taken, just before I'm starting to record this, through the blind, but yeah. Yeah, what a week. So as you can see, I'm suddenly under a little bit of time pressure on the Castillo de San Marcos, which is a shame. I was hoping that I had lots and lots of time, but apparently I've only got a few weeks left, 3 weeks left, so I've really got to hammer on that. But progress is good. I'm going to have to do a little bit of that every day, and then it will get finished. But other than that, working on the Galleon and also getting back to Rosie's model round has been a lot of fun. So I will remind you quickly before I wrap up to say don't forget to vote for the Reaper miniature. The list is on screen again now, and it is always in the description of the video. Just leave a comment with the miniature that you want me to paint, and you'll be entered into the draw to potentially win one of those miniatures, whichever ones win. And yeah, just get involved. I had the most votes ever this last week, had 12 people vote, so thank you ever so much to all of those people. And let's see if we can smash that 12. Let's see if we can get up to 15, that'd be awesome. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you again next week. And I'll wrap up. I almost forgot my outro. I am tired. It is early, but the outro is important to me, so I am going to say it. So I always say that anyone who is impacted by a horrific war in Ukraine and also in Israel, and I do know people that are, which is why I say this and why it matters to me, then my heart and thoughts do go out to you and anyone you know who may be in that horrific situation. It is crazy to me that it's still going on, and that we've got Israel, and now we've got more stuff kicking off. I mean, it's just an insane time of the world. We're going through history right now, and I'm not sure it's good history. Anyway, scary stuff. I'm a hobby channel, but reality does also exist. And to everyone, and I really mean this as well, everyone, please do stay healthy, stay safe, and stay well.